If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns are facing yet another significant blow to their already fragile lineup, as rookie linebacker Carson Schweissinger has been diagnosed with a high ankle sprain, according to ESPN. The injury, confirmed after testing, is expected to sideline Schweissinger for at least 4 weeks, putting the Browns in a precarious position as they attempt to regain any momentum this season. Schweissinger, drafted by Cleveland with the first pick of the second round out of UCLA, has emerged as one of the team's defensive leaders, amassing 64 tackles in just 8 games. He started every game this season, demonstrating a rare blend of instinct and physicality that made his first-year impact undeniable. His contributions aren't limited to tackles, either. He's also recorded 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits for tackles for loss, and even snagged his first career interception in a game that ultimately saw the Browns fall to the New England Patriots, 32-13. The moment of injury came midway through the 4th quarter of that matchup, an unfortunate collision when teammate Isaiah McGuire rolled into Schweisinger's right leg. After the game, Schweissinger was seen wearing a protective boot, signaling just how serious the high ankle sprain could be. For a team already struggling at multiple positions, losing a player of Schweisinger's caliber is a stark reminder of how fragile the Browns' season has become. Cleveland's defense has relied heavily on his versatility and tackling efficiency, and his absence will force defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz to shuffle the lineup and potentially expose weaknesses in a unit that has been underperforming relative to expectations. While the Browns sit at 2-6, any chance of a late-season resurgence could be hampered if Schweisinger's recovery takes longer than anticipated, making the coming weeks a critical test for the depth of Cleveland's roster. Schweisinger's absence also shines a light on a larger problem the Browns have faced for years: consistency, particularly at the quarterback position. Baker Mayfield, who led the team to its first playoff win since 1994 back in 2021, has been observing from afar as Cleveland continues to grapple with its quarterback carousel. Mayfield, now thriving with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and firmly in the MVP conversation, reflected on the Browns' struggles in a recent interview with NFL Network's Kyle Brandt. While Mayfield's comments were measured and diplomatic, there was no mistaking the underlying frustration at the ongoing chaos he left behind. The quarterback position, a role Mayfield once mastered despite injuries and team dysfunction, has remained a revolving door of unmet expectations. Veteran Joe Flacco showed flashes of his old self after a trade. Rookie Dylan Gabriel has been underwhelming, and Shedeur Sanders remains largely on the sidelines. It's a situation that would challenge even the most experienced leaders, and it's clear that the Browns' inability to stabilize the position has affected more than just their passing game. It's permeated the entire team, influencing morale, strategy, and ultimately, the win-loss column. Mayfield's own history with Cleveland adds a layer of poignancy to his observations. After taking the Browns to the playoffs, he endured a season riddled with injuries, culminating in a trade that brought Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. Watson, with a massive fully guaranteed contract, spent much of his tenure sidelined, leaving the team in limbo and forcing the organization to rely on inexperienced or unproven quarterbacks. Mayfield, for all his success elsewhere, acknowledges that it's hard not to watch the team struggle. It's tough not to pay attention to it, just because there are still people there that are genuine friends. And they were there for instrumental years of my life, he explained. Even as he has moved on and built a new chapter in Tampa, Mayfield's attachment to Cleveland remains clear, a testament to the bonds formed in the high-pressure, high-stakes world of professional football. His measured approach reflects both maturity and respect, balancing nostalgia with the practical realities of his current responsibilities. While he checks in occasionally, his priorities are firmly anchored in his success with the Buccaneers, where he has quickly become a central figure in their offensive dominance. Cleveland fans, however, might find little solace in the idea that even Mayfield, despite his good intentions and personal loyalty, can only observe from afar. The Browns' quarterback room continues to be a source of uncertainty and disappointment, mirroring broader struggles across the roster, including the defensive side, where Schweisinger's injury now complicates matters further. The team's 2-6 record is not simply the product of misfortune or bad luck. It's indicative of deeper structural issues, from player development to injury management to decision-making at the managerial level. The ripple effects are immediate and tangible. Without Schlesinger, the defense loses a key tackler and versatile playmaker, potentially allowing opponents more opportunities to exploit gaps and sustain drives. In football, such losses are never isolated. The absence of one critical player can dramatically shift the dynamics on both sides of the ball. Moreover, Schlesinger's injury underscores the fragility of rookie players in the NFL. Coming into the league with high expectations, he has exceeded them in his first 8 games, demonstrating a combination of athleticism, football IQ, and relentless energy that any team would covet. Yet, the physical toll of professional football is relentless, and injuries like high ankle sprains are notoriously tricky to manage. Recovery isn't just about healing the bone or ligament. It's about regaining full mobility, confidence, and timing. Even after returning, players often face a period of adjustment, which can temporarily diminish effectiveness. For a team like Cleveland, already facing multiple challenges on offense and defense, ensuring Schlesinger's full recovery without rushing him back becomes both a medical and strategic imperative. Off the field, the Browns situation has also drawn attention to the broader NFL narrative about player development and team management. Baker Mayfield's reflections, for example, illustrate a player who has witnessed the fragility of team success firsthand, observing how the interplay between management decisions, injuries, and talent development can make or break a franchise. His comments about staying connected to friends and former teammates reflect a human side of the game that often gets overshadowed by statistics and highlight reels. Players are not just athletes. They are individuals navigating careers that hinge on health, timing, and opportunity. Schlesinger's injury, in this context, serves as a microcosm of the broader challenges Cleveland faces: how to build a sustainable, resilient team in an environment where setbacks, both on and off the field, can be relentless and unforgiving. The narrative of the Browns, therefore, is more than a tale of wins and losses. It's a story of resilience under pressure, of rookies like Schlesinger rising to prominence only to be tested by the unforgiving nature of professional football. It's about former heroes like Mayfield reflecting on the past while forging a successful present. And it's about fans, coaches, and players all wrestling with the complexity of building a competitive team in one of the most scrutinized sports leagues in the world. For Cleveland, the road ahead is steep. The loss of a leader on defense, combined with ongoing quarterback instability, makes every game a challenge and every decision critical. The Browns' next moves, how they manage Schlesinger's recovery, how they adjust the defense, and how they continue to search for stability at quarterback, will likely determine whether this season is remembered as one of potential squandered or lessons learned for a franchise desperate to reclaim its former glory. In the meantime, fans are left to watch, worry, and hope that the young linebacker recovers fully and that Cleveland can find some semblance of cohesion before the season slips away entirely. Schlesinger's injury, while unfortunate, also highlights the promise of a player who has quickly become central to the team's identity. His rookie campaign, though interrupted, remains a bright spot, a reminder that even in a season marred by losses, talent and determination still shine through. And as Baker Mayfield's reflections remind us, the human stories behind the game, the friendships, the challenges, the perseverance, often tell more about a team's character than the scoreboard ever could. Cleveland may be struggling, but the narrative is far from over, and for fans willing to endure the ups and downs, there is still drama, hope, and excitement left in the story of the 2025 Browns. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. You guys, oh man, have you heard the latest coming out of the Browns locker room? Because, let me tell you, this is the kind of story that spreads like wildfire, the kind of rumor that makes your jaw drop and your head spin at the same time. So apparently, Jeudy, yes, the wide receiver we've all been watching and, for some, rooting for since he got drafted, has completely lost his cool inside the Browns locker room. And we're not talking about a little frustration after a bad play. No, this is the kind of meltdown that makes the media scramble and social media explode. Sources close to the team are saying that Jeudy, after a particularly rough stretch of games, finally reached a breaking point. He reportedly stood up in the middle of the locker room, slammed his helmet down, and just yelled, "I'm tired of pretending everything's okay." Can you even imagine the scene? You've got a room full of professional athletes, guys who are supposed to be thick-skinned, disciplined, trained for high-pressure situations, and suddenly one of their own just blows up in front of everyone. It's wild. And here's where it gets really juicy, because people are saying this wasn't just about a single loss or a bad practice. No, insiders claim that Jeudy has been dealing with mounting frustration for weeks. Rumor has it that the tension with the coaching staff, disagreements over play calling, and maybe even some personal clashes with teammates had been bubbling under the surface for a while. And the kicker? This wasn't a private venting session. Apparently, it was completely public in the locker room. You know how NFL locker rooms are. Walls aren't really soundproof, and news travels fast. By the time practice ended, the whole building apparently knew that Jeudy had snapped. And of course, the next day, social media was ablaze. Clips of him walking out, looking visibly upset, were shared with captions like, "Jeudy can't take it anymore," and "Browns locker room chaos." It's exactly the kind of stuff that fuels speculation about locker room culture and team dynamics. And honestly, it makes you wonder what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, let's break down why this is such a big deal. Jerry Jeudy was brought into the league with high expectations, and while he's had his moments of brilliance on the field, consistency has always been a talking point. Combine that with the pressure of playing for a team like the Browns, a franchise that's been under the microscope for years, and you've got a recipe for stress that can explode at any moment. People are saying that Jeudy's frustration isn't just personal. It's emblematic of a larger tension within the team. Some sources suggest that veteran players have been clashing with newer talent, that the playbook changes every week, and that the locker room is becoming a pressure cooker of unspoken resentments. And let's be real here. When a player of Jeudy's caliber finally loses it in front of everyone, it's going to be interpreted as a symptom of bigger problems. Fans, analysts, and rival teams are all going to read into this. Is this a breaking point for him personally? Or is it a signal that the Browns' internal culture is starting to crack under pressure? The truth is probably somewhere in between. What's fascinating, though, is the reaction from within the team. Some teammates reportedly tried to calm him down, to talk him through it, while others apparently stayed silent, maybe even out of fear of getting involved. You can almost picture it. Some guys nodding, agreeing silently, others just staring, unsure of what to do, maybe thinking, is this going to affect my own standing on the team? And of course, the coaches had to step in eventually. Sources say that the coaching staff held an emergency meeting after practice to try to address the tension. But let's be honest, controlling emotions in a room full of high-profile athletes is easier said than done. Rumor has it that the meeting was tense, that Jeudy expressed how frustrated he's been with play calling, communication, and what he perceives as a lack of accountability among some teammates. And that, my friends, is the kind of thing that doesn't just stay in the locker room. Even if it's supposed to be private, these things have a way of leaking out. That's why the rumor mill is spinning so fast right now, because when a player like Jerry Jeudy snaps, it's never just about him. It's about the team, the coaching, the fans, and the narrative that gets built around the franchise. And let's not forget the media angle here, because this is pure gold for sports news outlets. Clips of him storming out, dramatic quotes, unnamed sources confirming tension. All of it is practically begging for headline coverage. And if you're thinking this might blow over quietly, think again. Jeudy has a history of being vocal, of expressing his frustrations on social media and through interviews. And the rumor is that he's not one to let this slide quietly. Some insiders are even speculating that this could impact his performance in upcoming games, that his relationship with the coaching staff might be strained for a while, and that it could influence trades or roster decisions in the near future. Imagine the ripple effect. One player's emotional outburst leading to a chain reaction that could affect game strategies, team chemistry, and even how fans view the Browns heading into the season. That's how one locker room moment can turn into a story that dominates sports talk for weeks. And of course, fans have opinions. And let me tell you, the fan reaction has been wild. Some are defending him, saying, "Can you blame him? The team's not performing, and he's putting in the work." Others are criticizing him, calling the outburst unprofessional and questioning his maturity. And that's the thing about NFL rumors. They never exist in a vacuum. Every action is scrutinized, analyzed, and turned into a narrative. People are even comparing this to other famous locker room meltdowns, debating whether Jeudy is a spark of honesty or a ticking time bomb. And while we don't have the full story, insiders hint that there's more to come. Apparently, discussions about locker room culture and player accountability have been ongoing, and Jeudy's outburst might just be the catalyst for some bigger changes behind the scenes. So where does this leave us? Well, if the rumors are true, we could be witnessing a pivotal moment in the Browns season. Jeudy losing control publicly sends a message not just to his teammates, but to the entire organization. The status quo isn't working, and tensions are high. Whether this leads to a renewed sense of accountability, changes in leadership, or further internal conflict remains to be seen. What we do know is that the story isn't going away anytime soon. The combination of social media, fan speculation, and media coverage ensures that every move Jeudy makes will be scrutinized, every word he says will be analyzed, and every performance on the field will be interpreted through the lens of this incident. And honestly, the wildest part is imagining what this all looks like behind closed doors. The locker room, usually a place of camaraderie, strategy, and preparation, becomes a stage for raw emotion, for frustration spilling over, for the human side of professional sports that we don't always see. Jeudy snapping like this. It's messy, it's real, it's dramatic, and that's exactly why stories like this capture our attention. So keep your eyes on the Browns, because if these rumors hold water, this could be the beginning of a roller coaster stretch for Jeudy, for the team, and for the fans who live and breathe every twist and turn of NFL drama. Trust me, you don't want to blink, because in the world of sports, locker room chaos like this rarely stays behind closed doors for long. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!